There is an emotion so shameful we dare not speak its name. It is a poison that seeps into your heart in silence. It is the sickness of the soul that comes from watching another person succeed. It is envy. You feel it when a friend announces a promotion. You feel it when a rival receives the praise you craved. You scroll through social media and see a life you believe should be yours, and a bitter, corrosive heat rises in your chest. You hate the feeling. It makes you feel small, resentful, and weak. So you do what everyone does. You either pretend you don't feel it, or you turn it into judgment. They got lucky. They don't deserve it. It won't last. You have been taught that envy is a sin, a weakness, a character flaw to be suppressed and ashamed of. This is the greatest lie you have ever been told about your own nature. The ancient warriors, the Spartans, the samurai, the Vikings were the most competitive and ambitious men in history. Do you think they were immune to envy? No. They understood a secret that modern self-help has forgotten. They knew that envy is not a poison. It is a fire. And like any fire, if you let it run wild, it will burn your house down. But if you learn to control it, to channel it, you can use it to forge an unbreakable will. There is an ancient warrior's art to this, a form of mental alchemy that turns the darkest of emotions into the purest of fuel. It is the art of Kage no Chikara, the power of the shadow. And when you understand its laws, you will stop being ashamed of your envy, and you will start using it to become unstoppable. Before we step into the shadow, subscribe to this channel. And be brutally honest in the comments. Who are you envious of right now? Do not write their name. Just write their title. My friend, my boss, that artist. Admitting the shadow's existence is the first step to mastering it. Now, let us begin. In the province of Owari, there were two great swordsmen. The first was Hiroshi, a prodigy blessed with natural talent, effortless grace, and the adoration of the people. The second was Kenji. Kenji was not a prodigy. Every ounce of his skill had been earned through grueling, relentless work. He woke earlier, trained longer, and bled more than any other student. He was disciplined, powerful, and technically flawless, and he was always second best. In every tournament, he would cut through the competition, only to be defeated by Hiroshi in the final match. Hiroshi's movements were like a dance. Kenji's were like a battering ram. The crowd cheered for the artist. They respected the grinder. Envy was Kenji's constant companion. It was a cold, heavy stone in his gut. When he saw the praise Lord Oda gave to Hiroshi, the envy burned hot. He would retreat to his dojo and train until his hands were raw, trying to beat the feeling into submission. But it only made it worse. The envy began to poison his mind. He started to find flaws in Hiroshi's technique. He began to resent his rival's easy smile. He started making excuses. His father is a famous general. He is favored by the master. His own skill began to stagnate. The joy he once found in the perfection of the form was gone, replaced by a bitter obsession with another man's success. He was no longer training to become a better swordsman. He was training to beat Hiroshi. And that obsession was destroying him from the inside out. The school's master, an old warrior named Lord Nobunaga, who was said to see into the hearts of men, watched Kenji's slow decay. One evening, after another defeat, he found Kenji in the dojo, furiously striking a training post. "You are trying to kill a ghost with a sword," Nobunaga said, his voice quiet but sharp. "Hiroshi is no ghost," Kenji spat, his voice tight with resentment. "He is real, and he is better than me." "I am not talking about Hiroshi," the master replied. I am talking about the shadow in your heart. You think it is your enemy. You think it is a weakness. You have spent all your energy trying to kill it. Have you ever thought to ask it what it wants? Kenji stopped, confused. It wants what he has. His fame, his skill, his favor. No, Nobunaga corrected. That is what you think it wants. The shadow itself wants only one thing: to be seen. Envy is a compass, boy. A brutally honest compass that points directly to what your soul truly desires. You have been cursing the compass instead of reading the map. This is the first law of Kage no Chikara. Do not suppress the shadow. Interrogate it. For 7 days, the master commanded. You are forbidden from training. Your only task is to watch Hiroshi. But you will not watch him as a rival. You will watch him as a spy. You will dismantle him. Every time you feel a pang of envy, you will not crush it. You will stop, and you will ask the shadow, what specifically do I want here? This is the second law. Deconstruct the object of your envy. For the first few days, it was torture. But Kenji obeyed. When he saw the Lord praise Hiroshi's fluid footwork, he felt the familiar burn. He stopped. What specifically do I want here? Not the praise. He wanted the footwork. For the first time, he saw it not as a magical gift, but as a technique. He saw the way Hiroshi shifted his weight, a subtle movement he had always been too proud to study. He wrote it down. When he saw the effortless way Hiroshi could transition from attack to defense, he interrogated the envy. What, specifically? He wanted that calmness in combat. He had always relied on brute force. Hiroshi relied on economy of motion. He wrote that down too. He was no longer looking at a rival. He was looking at a living textbook. The envy was not a poison. It was a spotlight, illuminating the exact areas of his own weakness. A researcher in evolutionary psychology at Harvard University supports this. Envy is a social comparison mechanism evolved to identify resource and status disparities. While it can trigger destructive behavior, its primary function is informational, to alert an organism to what is needed to improve its own standing. At the end of the week, Kenji returned to the master. He held up a scroll filled with notes. "This is what I want," he said. "Not fame, not favor, but specific, actionable skills." "Good," said Nobunaga. "You have read the map. Now you must use the fire. This is the final law. Transform envy into a blueprint, and then transmute its energy into disciplined action. You will no longer train to beat Hiroshi. You will train to acquire these specific skills. Your rival is no longer your enemy. He is your unwilling teacher." Let's be clear. Your envy is not about the other person. It is a report card on your own inaction. You are not envious of your friend's fit body. You are envious because their discipline is a mirror that reflects your own lack of it. You're not envious of your colleague's promotion. You're envious because their courage to ask for what they want highlights your own fear of rejection. You use judgment and gossip to mask your envy, because it is easier to tear someone else down than it is to build yourself up. Complaining that the world is unfair is the ultimate cope of the mediocre. It allows you to remain a victim, absolving you of the responsibility to do the hard, brutal work of closing the gap. The warrior's path is different. The warrior accepts the brutal honesty of envy. It is a gift. It is the universe telling you, "Here, this is what you claim to want. This is where you're falling short. The gap is real. Now, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to whine, or are you going to work?" Kenji returned to the dojo a different man. The anger was gone, replaced by a cold, sharp focus. He had a blueprint. He spent the next month working on one thing and one thing only: his footwork. He did not care about sparring. He did not care about his raw power. He did the boring, repetitive drills he had always considered beneath him. Then he spent a month on economy of motion, learning to stay calm, to deflect rather than block. He was no longer fighting the shadow. He was feeding it. He was taking its raw, chaotic energy and channeling it into the forge of disciplined practice. He stopped watching Hiroshi altogether. He had the map. Now he had to walk the path. The joy of the craft returned, deeper and purer than before. 6 months later, the annual tournament was held. Kenji moved through his opponents with a new kind of grace, his own. It was not the fluid dance of Hiroshi. It was the heavy, unstoppable certainty of a landslide. It was his power, now guided by precision. He met Hiroshi in the final. The fight was the longest and most spectacular the province had ever seen. In the final exchange, both men struck. But Kenji's blade landed a fraction of a second sooner. For the first time, he was the champion. The crowd roared, but Kenji felt no explosive joy. He simply felt a quiet, profound sense of rightness. He looked at Hiroshi, and for the first time, he felt no envy. He felt respect and a quiet gratitude. You have this fire inside you. Do not be ashamed of it. It is time to use it. This is your plan. First, admit the shadow. Acknowledge the envy. Write it down in a private journal. Give it a name. I am envious of my co-worker's confidence. The first step to controlling the fire is to admit that it exists. Second, interrogate and deconstruct. Ask the shadow the warrior's question. What, specifically, do I want here? Break it down into actionable skills, traits, or assets. Be brutally precise. I don't just want their business. I want their skill at public speaking and their network. Third, create your blueprint. Turn those specific skills into your new training manual. This is now your singular focus. The object of your envy is now your unwilling teacher and your blueprint for action. Fourth, transmute energy into action. Every time you feel that familiar pang of envy, you will not suppress it. You will not turn it into judgment. You will recognize it as a signal, a reminder of your mission, and you will redirect that fiery energy into one small, disciplined action from your blueprint. Let the envy be the bell that calls you back to the work. Kenji became a master in his own right, not as a copy of Hiroshi, but as something new, forged in the fires of his own shadow. He learned that envy is the starting pistol for the race toward your own potential. It is the most honest, ruthless, and powerful coach you will ever have. Your dark side is not your enemy. It is your greatest untapped resource. It is the dragon guarding the treasure of who you could become. You can spend your life pretending the dragon isn't there, or you can turn, face it, and use its fire to forge yourself into a weapon. The choice is, and has always been, yours. If you're ready to use your dark side, subscribe to the TGR Flurby. It's time to turn your poison into power. Thank you for watching.